I got your bang right here. Doo bitty beep boo. So then we're going to go like this.
It tastes so much like Red Bull, except for full of syrup.
No, it's not. Let me tell you something.
That's what it tastes like, man. It's my.
You know what? Welcome back, everybody, to the 2218's Attitude for Gratitude Weekly Live Podcast. This week is a banger. We got a famous musician on the show with us. We will dictate and talk about what fame really is here. But if you ask him, he'll say he's not famous. In my mind, he's famous. We got Elena back in the house. We got Mike back in the house. And like I said, it's a banger of a show coming at you. 2218, that's where we are having this podcast from, as usual. And as usual, Elena, the producer of the year, will be putting up the link for us so you can follow, you can share, you can donate some money if you're able to. And give me one moment while I pass over this computer very carefully to my producer, because this is when the shit. Boardsy. Okay, so let me put my headphone back in and see if we're really banging out some real live stuff. Oh, we're good. And it sounds halfway decent. Here you go, if you want, babe. Yeah. All right. 2218. Again, thank you guys all for patience and your understanding with our technical stuff. We still are working out some technical stuff. Last night I had a meeting with an engineer for 2.5, 3 hours, and he walked me through some stuff. I realized that I absolutely am a carpenter and not an engineer. And I'm also realizing quickly that doesn't matter what we might think we know about using our system, it could change at a moment's notice with updates. And we're going to learn how to do this. And we appreciate your patience, as always. So, it's an interactive show. Please interact. Share this show with people. Anyone you know that could use a little recovery in their life, or hear about some solution, or hear about someone's own personal stories, share this with other people. Anything you can think of for the show, share that with us. We are always open to suggestions for the show. Myself and Elena will be putting our phone numbers up, as I'm doing right now, and 9942. Please reach out to me directly if you have any questions or concerns, or if you just need some help and you don't want to be public about it, you can reach out to me directly. You know what? I know there's some things I'm probably missing here. I need to start reading the mission statement of 2218 again. I just don't have the updated copy in front of me, and we'll get back on track next week. This week is kind of unfortunately, Darren, we're going to be using you as kind of a test run for this new updated of everything that we have, and hopefully it all works.
You can use me, man. I don't mind.
Promise?
Oh, yeah.
All right, dude.
Whoa.
All right, I can hear you, and...
Whoa. Yeah.
And I hear Elena. Good. We're solid, like the poops they take. So... Let's just jump into it. We're still going to do a little 10 o'clock. You know what? I don't know if I'm going to do the 10 o'clock thing. You guys have to hear me all night anyways. We might not go full 2 hours tonight, but we are going to talk. I'm going to be picking Darren's brain like a booger, and it's going to be a good couple hours ahead of us.
Let's go 3 hours, man.
Well, you know what?
Hey, I'm old, and I need to go to sleep.
Speaking of that, Elena, you know what? Check in with our audience. You said something about a hard day at work. You said something. Share with us. How'd you get through that hard day of work, and you're sitting here now? How do you deal with that shit? I don't need we don't have to have a segment. Just talk to us. How are you getting through it with your sanity?
There is no sanity right now. There is none. So a lot of people know I started working at a treatment center, and I probably spent a half of my day outside today because I just had to get away.
Oh. Are your coworkers cool with that? Like, they understand?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I gotta get outside. I gotta take a break.
Well, we have different areas. So, like, I'm the nursing department, which is just me, for this entire building of...
And it's all women,
28
right?
women.
Ooh.
And we all know how I feel about women.
Yeah.
So there's 28 women, and when you listen to so much stuff all the time, you just have to walk away and de-escalate, because otherwise you're going to explode and you're going to blow up.
Right, and how do you not make that part of your own problem sometimes?
I keep asking them to find a solution when they have issues. I'm like, find a solution. I hung something up on my wall or on my door. I wish I could remember exactly what it said, but it's a cup, and it talks about holding a cup. And I'm just going to kind of give you a small little thing of it. Yep. Where if you hold a cup for 5 minutes in front of you, it doesn't cause any problems. But then if you hold it for an hour, your arm starts to get tired. And the longer and longer you hold it, you're just going to it's going to keep causing you to have issues. But if you put that cup down, then you're not going to have those problems. And because all these girls, all they talk, or these women, all they do is talk about their problems, and they never have a solution for it. Well, the solution is put the damn cup down.
Right.
And then you don't have that problem anymore.
I think I understand what you're saying.
It's just, I don't know. And I get it. People are new in recovery. I still have my problems with years of recovery. It doesn't matter. Like, we have issues, but it's how we deal with them.
Do you ever have a problem with bringing their problems and making them your own?
No.
It's a problem that I personally have.
No. Their feelings, yeah. Like, if they're crying, I want to cry.
Right.
But
so emotionally, you're having a tough time sometimes separating that and not taking on their emotions.
Yeah, but I could just be hormonal at the moment.
But you know what? No, I get it, because I felt that way just as of recent. You know what? Too. Side note. Sorry, not to be drab, but we lost a brother in recovery here since the last show. Carl Gallagher passed away.
Mm-hmm.
We had him on the show for the Ride for Recovery. Frank and Carl were on the show, and this is why I'm bringing this up on what Elena just shared. And then we're going to move over to Darren here, but kind of dedicate this show to the Gallaghers and to Carl. The thing right away I'm thinking about it was that shit's been happening all week. At our men's meeting, someone brought up something about emotions, whatever, and someone got emotional. Instantly, I start tearing up, and it's exactly what you're talking about. Like, just with the shit that's going on in my life, someone else is going through some drama, and it might be hormonal. Maybe I'm hormonal, or I think, is that a girl thing? That's a girl.
No, Tim, that's a you thing too.
Right, so maybe I am hormonal, but like, someone was emotional, and I took on that shit like instantly. I see tears, and I'm getting shut down, but instantly I'm getting all water-eyed and I'm all emo. It's easy to do and I don't know how to check that aspect yet. I've been working on staying in the solution and not picking up and this and that. Like, even though I lost my brother like 2 years ago in recovery, I haven't had to worry about emotions like that. And then I get around people during times like this that are really emotional. I take that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
So to be around 28 women,
oh my God,
and they're in early recovery, dealing with children, trying to get their kids back, dealing with legal shit. I can only imagine what it'd be like around that. And you're the nurse.
And I can't sympathize. Like, I sympathize for them, but I can't relate to them because I've never been to jail. I never lost my kids. I never, like, it's hard for me sometimes.
Well, don't you also have to not hold a higher standard, but you are the help.
Yeah.
You're the one to give the solution or help these women with medical stuff, correct?
Yes.
And they're looking to you to have the answers that you 90% of the time, I'm sure, are not able to have. And
well, in a clear.
No, actually, I have all the answers when I'm at work.
You haven't met them. You got all. Yeah.
When it comes to medical and them, like, I have all the answers.
For medical shit, you got answers.
Yeah.
But a lot of these.
But other stuff, I'm like, I have no idea.
Either way, like what I was trying to get at is they think that you're a doctor, you're there, you're working there, so you should be able to fix them no matter what.
That's my favorite. I always tell them I'm not a doctor. I'm a low-paid nurse.
You know how many of my friends have had to tell my mom that no, my mom's not a doctor. She's a secretary at a medical facility. Mm-hmm. So many are like, Tim, your mom's a doctor, right? I'm like, no, dude. She answered phones. Like,
look at this. Text your mom. Let me know what she said.
Dude, a lot of my mom has seen a lot of gross pictures of my friends' problems because they are like, well, she works at Park. I go, like, she should know.
No, wait a minute. That's my favorite part about being a nurse, when people show me gruesome pictures.
There was this, side note, then we got to get to Darren. There was this time when I first, not just when I met Elena, but I made some joke or something about well endowed something or something. Elaine's like, that don't faze me. I'm a nurse. I'm like, what does that even mean? She's like, you don't get it, do you? Like, I see that shit every day. Like, you can't impress with me much.
All shape, size.
Yes.
No.
I was trying to be real diplomatic the way I just said all that, but I know I hit it on the head. Do you remember? It was.
I do.
She's like,
I was a CNA for 20 years. I have been working with people from the ages of 18 to 95.
and seeing all sorts
I've
of.
seen it all.
Yes.
Seen it all.
God, this took a real quick, weird turn. Darren,
What?
talk to me. Dude, introduce yourself. Who are you?
I am Darren Hansen. How are we doing?
I'm good. I'm glad you're here. So Darren comes to us from Squad 20, which is the men's meeting at New Hope Alano.
Is that the one you go to?
Yes, that's the one. We've had multiple guests from that meeting on this show. Matter of fact, is your sponsor been on this show?
Yeah.
Okay. And I believe the sponsor will be on here, Bustin' Balls. He should already be. Yep, he's already watching. So,
Hey, buddy.
here's the thing. Darren is someone that's been in recovery for not a long time. I believe you found us through Bob,
Right.
through church.
Yep.
Like, that's how you know Bob, right?
Yeah. I
Let's
met
start
Bob.
there.
Well, I met Bob through church, and
Bob S.
Bob actually
Oh, Bobby boy.
figured out that I had an issue before I knew I had an issue with alcoholism. I was going through a terrible time with life.
He's got a way of doing
Wait,
that.
like I'm gonna slow us down real quick. Is you guys went to the same church,
Correct.
and was it a men's breakout meeting type deal, or how did you guys even link up at a church? Like most of the time, you're just in the pews together. Like how did you meet up with Bob?
The church that we went to had like a pretty big. It was like the after meeting.
Like fellowship?
Yeah,
It was fellowship.
So it was a lot of fellowship. We did branch off. We had our own men's meeting almost. And at the time in my life, I was using quite a bit and going through a lot of traumatic stuff. My best friend had shot himself. I was really, really struggling with that.
And you just drank over everything, right? At that time?
No, I didn't drink over everything. I just drank all the time. I didn't drink for any reason. I was just throwing them down no matter what. I was a roaming party, man.
Right.
If I was going somewhere, there was beer involved. If there wasn't, I had a case in the truck ready to go, you know?
Right. And then, so Bob takes you under his wing, or how does he introduce you to recovery?
Well,
Or no, not Bob. How do you get introduced to recovery?
Bob basically picked me up from jail and brought me to a meeting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it was about 4 years ago now, February, I got thrown in jail. Obviously, Bob and I knew each other for quite a while already, and he knew that I had issues. We had, our families knew each other, so he knew I'd call her my wife.
She's your wife.
She's my wife.
Minnesota, but
Been
like you guys
together
have
15 years.
8 kids and all that good jazz.
He knew us, he knew my struggles, and I went to jail, negative 50 degrees. I walked home, that walk of shame. I got home and I got a big giant beard and just one big giant ice chunk on my face. And by about the time my face melted and my old ladies beat me up for, good 15, 20 minutes, Bob showed up and he's like, we're going to a meeting. I was like, okay, well.
But real quick on that same topic, because I want people to know, is did Bob shove recovery down your throat before this, or did you did you know about recovery, or did Bob shove it down? I guess how am I trying to get this through to the audience?
Recovery.
Like he wasn't ever shoving like, dude, you should stop drinking. You need AA. Like he wasn't like that, or was he?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Nope.
So then, all right. So then you get home. The wifey gives you the whooping of a lifetime.
Yep.
And then Bob's does what?
He picks me up and brings me to Will Worker Recovery for my first meeting.
I didn't even know you'd been there.
Yeah, I went there a couple of times.
So that was back in February of 19, or is that 18?
18 or 19, somewhere
Okay.
in there. I might be on 5 years in and out of the program, so yeah.
I was gonna say because you don't have 5 years
Correct.
clean today.
So you and I basically jumped in about the same
Yeah,
time.
that's why when you said because I'm February of 18 or no January, yeah, February of 18.
So
that's
I
my date.
think that we actually came in about
Same
the same
time.
exact time.
So then we're going to kind of go through your story, and then I'm going to talk about other stuff. You know that.
Right on.
Then you find these rooms, and how does that look like for you? Like right away, were you like, "This is for me," or what happened?
No, I was not like this.
What were you doing for like? What did you do for work and hobbies at that time?
Hobbies, I was a musician. Had a band together for a good 12, 13 years.
Famous musician.
No, infamous maybe. I mean, famous locally perhaps, but it wasn't anything huge. Just a cover band. I played hockey and I worked. Took care of my grandpa.
That's right. You're real close to Gramps.
Yeah,
that's right.
Those are the biggest things in my life. Basically, going to hang out with all the people I thought were friends, trying to fix their life's problems, doing everything I could to stay out of the house and keep drinking because for me, the home life was very uncomfortable. So I did everything I could just to stay away from home.
Right. So then, how long does this recover? No drinking. Did it even take at first?
Yeah, it did. I actually lasted 9 months.
I was gonna say, I thought you had got some time.
Yeah, I did pretty good.
Podcast went out. I was just told. Hang on 1 second.
It's still going.
No, I think. No. All right, we're good. No, I think someone's computer went out. But okay, so you got 9 months. Then what happened in 9 months?
Oh, 9 months go by, and to be honest, I can't remember what the reason was for the relapse, other than not wanting it.
That wasn't your. That's not your grandpa didn't pass then.
No.
That wasn't okay.
No.
So
My grandpa passed about 2 years ago, so this was basically just my lifestyle continuing, trying to continue the life I had, but in the shadows, you know.
So I am going to pick it apart a little. I know about your most current relapse, and we are going to talk about it.
Okay.
But this one at 9 months. Prior to that, so you get 9 months clean time. Were you working with a sponsor? Were you all in? Like, were you going to meetings? Like, what did recovery look like for you in those 9 months, or was it just something to do?
I was going to meetings. I had a sponsor. We were going through the book. Once we got to the tail end of things in the book, we were walking through the 12 steps. Sponsor got busy. I got busy. We started missing each other. And I kept having this inkling that this really wasn't for me anyway. Found my way back. But at that time, I didn't want it, to be honest with you.
Looking back now,
looking back now, even while I was doing it,
okay.
even while I was doing it, I knew that there was something I couldn't let go of, and I had, like we were talking about outside, I had a tough time finding my identity.
No shit. Let's jump right into that right now. So 9 months go in, and you're out here. Like, was that a big part of what was going on? Because you were still doing music.
Right.
I dropped you off at some godforsaken bar way down by like Turtle Lake somewhere for a gig. It was way down south
Yeah,
somewhere.
that was at Point in Prior Lake. I remember that.
He's like, oh yeah, dude. I was like, no, I got you. I'm of service. I'll give you a ride. Where is it? He's like, oh, just up 52 a little bit.
No, I told you how far away it was. And
Yeah, dude.
you were like, yeah, I'll do it. They'll give me something to do. I'll be sober for 2 hours because I'll be behind the wheel.
Oh, that's a famous Tim line.
Hey, and then I stayed sober, and I got him to a bar. But all right. So, like during that time, was that how to order it? So you just said like looking back at it, you really didn't want it.
Yeah.
So the identity thing doesn't come into play yet.
No.
So you go back out. How long did you go back out for after 9 months?
I jumped back in pretty quickly after. It really wasn't a long time deal where I was out, and I think it was a more or less a thing of me getting caught than anything else. So I got caught. Had to admit that I relapsed. It was probably a couple of months before I decided I was ready to go back again. And at that time, I was just going through the motions.
So was when you, all right, looking back at it, 9 months, you go back out to drinking. Were you, prior to this, did you ever go into recovery? Were you ever part of AA or any of this shit?
No, not at all.
Okay, so was it a true statement about like once you get into this, when you go back out, it wrecks your drinking? Like, were you all feel guilty when you were drinking and all, or did you even care?
No, I didn't care because at the time I was still.
Hey, that's good.
No, for me, no.
That's the way I look at it. If I go back out, I'm not going to try to leave you guys in my rearview mirror.
Every time I went back out, I kept thinking about all my friends in recovery.
So total guilt.
Total guilt.
No.
See, and I think that's what they mean when they say that like AA is going to wreck your drinking if you ever go back out. But
now,
again, yep.
Now I'm at that point.
All right, but so now we're at 9 months. You go back out for a little bit, trying to hide it when you went back out.
Yeah, trying to hide it. I mean, I was honest with some people. I was honest with a lot of people saying that I needed to get help, but I wasn't. I was cutting back and thinking that was good enough.
Right. I think I recall, maybe, I don't know how connected we were. I know there was a time where I believe we spoke, and it was something to the fact like, this just ain't for me right now.
Right.
Or like something like that. Like, this isn't for me right now. And
there was a good couple of years there where I dipped my toe in and go, ooh, this feels good, and like jump right back out. Something tragic might have happened. To be honest with you, those like this last 2 years are the 2 years that I have been more serious about. The first 2 or 3, it's a whirlwind in my mind because I had so much that happened in my life during that time that it's tough to keep the timeline together and the whys and
right.
I was using too. So
what, reefer, meth, drugs, pills? What were we talking about using?
no, I wasn't really using drugs at all.
Oh, I thought you meant when you said, and I was using too.
Oh no, as using as I was going through it.
Oh,
using
okay,
alcohol. Yeah, every now and again when cocaine would get jumped into the mix, but
oh
yeah, I found out that could really ramp up my drinking career.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You got to get the timing down there.
I don't think the audience can hear that.
Oh, okay.
There's some button I'm not hitting that links it with that, but it's fun for us.
Yeah, Tim's hitting the rim shot if you guys can't hear it.
The rim shot, not the dirty kind. But okay,
And if you can't hear it, that's the sad horn.
I'll see. He's also
Sad horn trombone.
So, so curved us. So it's whirlwind. 9 months, then you come back in, go back out, come back. Is that what it was? I'm trying to think back. Like,
so I was coming in, going out, and then I said, screw it. I'm just flat out drinking again.
balls, just all in.
All in. This is when I got my second D-dub.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, so yeah.
And that's when things started changing for me.
Like how? What do you mean changing? For the better? For the worse?
For the better. I actually wanted sobriety.
So was it consequences that kind of helped you?
It helped push me over the edge, yeah.
Because when you went, what?
I can't even remember my own life. So my second
Get in line,
into,
bro. That's what drugs and alcohol do to us. Don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So then, 9 months. Then you're in and out, and not in and out. You're just like fuck. Or I
was in and out for a while. I said fuck it, and then all of a sudden
it was go time.
It was go time. It was time for me to change things up. I was taking care of my grandpa.
Who you're really close with.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, literally taking care of this guy. This guy took care of me when I was a little kid. He was getting down towards his end of life, and I was there every day. I'd stop by his house before work. I'd be at his house after work, and I'd be spending more time with him than I was my own family.
You have children, right?
Yeah, I got 2 boys.
2 boys.
Yep.
And a wife.
Yep.
So then, and at this point, when Grandpa's not doing so hot, you were drinking?
For a while, yeah.
And it's okay if you don't have it down packed with that timeline. It doesn't matter.
Write the book here.
So was this before COVID?
Yes.
All right. And you're still doing music, right?
Yeah.
All right. Then what happens after? I mean, with Keep us going. Keep us going. We'll get you back in these rooms.
Um,
Or, all right, Grandpa's not doing so good. And not to relive some dark times for you, but
No, I
then
agree.
Grandpa passes. What happens there for you with the stuff you picked up in recovery, with the circles you have, with church, with whatever you had going on in your life? How did that go for you?
that actually went a lot better than I thought. So this was a time where I wanted sobriety. I knew I needed sobriety, and I had a great sponsor who helped me through feeling my way through that stuff versus trying to run from it.
Right.
Um,
You talking about John?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had him to rely on. I had another John to rely on. Those two guys are people that I can call anytime. I know there's several others that I can call, but those two guys, those two and I have a connection that's really, really
Strong,
deep. It's
yeah.
very strong. We all click on different levels, and
Side note: 6 shows ago, you can hear about those two Johns. They were our guests.
yeah, that's
the
first
John
one
and
I
John
listened
show.
to. I know.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't know about it.
Whatever it takes, Elena. We'll take them how we can get them. So you got this connection with these two boys.
Right.
Grandpa passes.
Yep.
John helped you. You made it. You made a connection that you started utilizing
Correct.
in recovery.
hmm
These are people you didn't know prior to recovery.
Right.
You make these connections, and how do they help you get through this time? I know you said like it wasn't as tough. Why?
I was.
Like, put it this way: explain to someone who's dealing with it right now. Like, how did they? What tools? What did he help you get? How do you help you get through it?
Learning to feel my way through problems instead of run from them. More or less, they took that 1,000-pound weight off the phone. I was able to have family from out of town come in and help me with things. I was able to be vulnerable, which was something I was never able to do before. So after he passed, I have my dad and my aunt who should have had claim to his estate,
Mm-hmm.
but it was all left to me. And
Via the will.
yes,
Okay.
so I have his house, his car, his dog. I have all of his belongings, everything.
Someone else knows something similar to that at this table, I believe. But yeah, keep going.
So I have to decide what I'm going to do with everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
The best thing was to sell the house. My aunt, my dad, my entire family are there with me, and I'll never forget this day. I had all this help. I had a giant dumpster out front, and that first day that I had all this help, all these people around me just asking me, "What can I do? What can I do? What can I do?" And the only thing I could do was cry, all day long. I will never forget that. And I cry. I'd take a nap. For some reason, somehow,
It wore you out,
it
dude.
wore me out. I
Yeah.
was so emotional that I would cry. I would try and give some direction. I'd fall asleep. I'd cry. I'd give some direction. I'd fall asleep. And then we all just, it felt really weird because everybody was so focused on me. But at the same time, now I think about it and I look back, I was the one taking care of everything. So, not to take anything away from anybody else, but I think they understood this was
A lot of weight on your shoulders.
just such a huge weight on me, and everybody in my family knew that that was my person. Him and I were best friends from the day I was born till the day he died. We almost saw each other, other than a short couple of years there when I was in my late teens. That we saw each other every single day.
That's like a dad.
Yeah,
That's like your dad.
Yeah, he was. Again, I mean, in my life, early when I was a kid, my dad was 19 when I was born. My mom was 17, and
They're children having
yeah,
children.
they're children having children, and a lot of the best things in me, they all came from him.
Right.
So
So now, was there any, not animosity or ill will? Like, there was no issues with, a lot of times with inheritances and all that. Like, that's usually a big issue with families. everything's being left to you. Was there any hard feelings?
This is the funny thing. And it's probably the most odd and difficult thing I had to deal with when it came to that situation was my aunt and dad, who were so understanding about everything
Sorry.
that they would find stuff that was theirs from when they were a kid,
Yeah.
and they would come to me with this like photo album or something. Something's just has no value to me whatsoever, has all this value to them, and they come to me with this thing in their hands, just hold it out like a little kid, like, can I have this?
Not the gold watch, not the,
No.
the spendy thing. It was just some memorabilia.
Like their childhood toys or stuff that I didn't even know existed in the house that they knew what it was. Like, can I have this?
So there was no ill will.
No,
there
not
was
at all.
So
That was the luckiest thing I
Yes.
think I got to deal with that situation. Was I didn't have to handle a train wreck that wanted to take over, that had animosity, that I was willed all this stuff, all his worldly possessions. Our family is lucky that way that we have not much for possessions. So
well, I mean, you're talking about something that not to air out other people's business, but Elena, you went through something similar, correct?
Yep.
Like with that, and I know, like my family. I mean, when it comes to that, too. Like it can be a real touchy subject with family members for some reason. When that money and that inheritance gets involved, you always hear about it. You always see it. And this was like a smooth transition for you.
it is extremely smooth. I was expecting some things to be difficult. I expected some hard questions to be asked. And when it came to selling the house and getting the money, I expected someone to speak up, and I don't know, they could be talking behind my back, like,
Right.
well, why didn't I get this much, or why did he get that much? There was none of that. Those conversations were kept private, and for certain people, it was, okay, I can't trust you with this much. I have to do this for you. I can put a roof on your house. I can help you with something else. I can pay some bills, but I can't straight up give you cash because I know you're going to do something stupid. You're going to get.
So you had a lot of responsibility too.
Well, yeah,
with this.
It's my family. I've kind of always been someone for everybody to turn to in my family. So everybody knows that I'm going to try and take care of them. If they have a problem, I'm one that they're going to call.
Right. So then you have all this support. Everyone's helping you move. Everyone's helping you clean out the house. This and that. Real tough time for you.
Yep.
Where were you at in your recovery at that time? Were you drinking
No.
during this time? You were clean.
Yeah.
And did you have some people from the fellowship helping
Yeah.
at that time?
Yep. So John actually came and helped. That lucky fucker got to see us in Vail. So my grandpa had this house from 1968, I think it
Yeah.
was. So just to preface this, my grandparents weren't the most cleanly. They weren't exactly hoarders or anything like that. This house wasn't like a dangerous situation in it by any means, but just to preface this, my grandpa told my wife one time, she was vacuuming the basement, and he said, "Wow, that's the first time anybody's done that in this house." So she's vacuuming up dog hair from the 60s and 70s.
70s.
But we're up tearing the house apart, trying to make it ready for sale, getting rid of all his stuff. So Grandma and Grandpa smoked. Grandpa smoked like 6 packs a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, he'd have 2 going at a time. I'm surprised he didn't have one in his nostril along with his lips. But that's just how he was, and that I'm surprised as all hell that didn't kill him. But we have a house full of nicotine smoke, tar streaming down the walls. Like you can move the pictures and see the white in the back.
Right.
But John pulls back the carpet and reveals these hardwood floors that have never seen the light of day before.
Beautiful.
But, oh my God, this house might have some value. So once we started tearing that stuff out, I was thinking, maybe we'll get 60, 70 grand out of the deal, and they ended up getting some good offers.
Yeah.
After we cleaned this out, we had a house that was pretty awesome, actually.
That's cool. Like, so then we're running through your whole story from beginning to where we're at today.
Mm-hmm.
Then that happens. Where in between? This was before COVID, you said, right?
It was right when COVID happened. So it was the June of 20 when he passed.
So 4 months after the whole shutdown, everything happened.
Right.
And then what are you doing for recovery at that point? Is that when you then, from that point on, you've kind of been all in, right?
Yeah.
With recovery. And you stayed in recovery until just that one taking care of, or let's keep going. What happened with your physical, let's go.
We continue on to the next summer. So the next year, I was doing all right. I got like another 9 months under my belt. So that pretty much brings us to last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Last summer, I don't know what happened, but there's this crazy person that lives in my head.
Oh, I think we're all related to someone like that in our own heads.
No.
Oh,
So
I know.
that guy wanted to come out and play, and I know this guy. He's lived there all the time, and for the most part, I was able to keep him at bay. And last summer, I decided this is it. I'm letting him out to play, and I went hard. I mean, we opened the door. It was like, okay. I told the wife, this is just going to be, on the weekends I'll have one. It started with that.
Yeah.
It was more or less I'll take it from here kind of thing. I'll have a few on the weekends here and there.
What'd you tell? Did you talk to John? Let's just use John. He's good at using. You didn't tell him, huh? Okay.
No, at this point, so I was going through the stuff with Grandpa. So the summer goes by. We go through another fall and winter. Fall's John's time for family, so he's disappears off the face of the earth, which is fine. And I had plenty of other people I could reach out to, but I chose not to.
Mm-hmm.
Get through that winter.
Well, then someone could have held you accountable if you reached out. Like, okay.
Yeah, I didn't want any of that.
Exactly. Okay.
Last summer comes in, and I come firing out of a rocket, man. I started with that just the weekends. That might have lasted like a week. Then I was drinking during the week. Oh, look, they got this cool new beer that I want to try. Oh, it's really good. And
which beer?
That was Bush Apple.
Son of a bitch, they come up with all these new things, man. White Claws, Bush Apples, Jesus. Go ahead.
Yeah, before you know it, I'm drinking,
Like
at least
a
a 12-pack a day, trying to convince the wife during the week that, it's a date night after the kids go to bed. Let me go to the liquor store, grab a bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
I go grab a bottle of wine, I grab a four-pack of White Claws as well. I drink and the liquor store is less than a mile from my house. I'll slam those 4 White Claws before I get home, so I'm right back exactly where I was before I went to jail.
Right.
So it didn't take long for that person to come back out. This came to a head on, I can't remember the date, but it was still summer-ish. I went to my uncle's house, and at this time, I was starting to go through some physical ailments, just a little bit. So
What do you mean, physical ailments?
I started having some trouble with my leg. I got put on steroids. I was using prednisone.
Well, I think this is relevant that we bring this up because this is part of the rest of your story. Yep.
I was on prednisone. I was drinking, and I was using Coke every now and again at this time. And I went out to my uncle's house, who was a huge idol for me when I was growing up.
Okay.
So he was a guy who was like total machismo. You drive trucks.
Right.
You bang bitches.
The guy thing.
You drink and drink and drink. Like he was the guy who was giving me smokes when I was 5 years old.
Right.
The cool uncle.
Yeah, the cool uncle. Yeah. Your mom's brother or dad's brother?
Mom's brother.
Okay. Yeah.
So we go out or I go out to his house, and for some reason I wanted to prove how big of a man I was at his place. So he's having a party at his spot, and I basically drowned him once.
Drowned him?
Yeah, he had a hot tub, so we're in a trailer park, right?
Okay. Oh, well, enough said.
So we're at a trailer park.
Yeah.
I want to play tough guy. He's got this inflatable hot tub on his deck. We got people over. The last thing I remember is taking 4 shots of Crown. I'd never black out.
Mm-hmm.
I have never really blacked out, and this time I blacked out, and it was the wrong time because I wanted to fight everybody.
Mm.
So I draw my uncle, bring him back to life. Apparently, I killed him and brought him back to life like 3 times that night, and that's when his friends decided that was enough.
I didn't know any of this, but yeah.
I have a history of fighting. I know how to fight. I've been trained. I've fought professionally, not stuff you'd see on TV or anything like that, but I fought for money. And I have I don't feel pain at all when I'm in a certain mode. I will not feel pain.
Right.
And at this time, I'm getting chairs taken. I got 8 guys trying to kick the hell out of me, and
You're feeling no pain.
fight them all out. I'm getting a baseball bat taken to me. I was told at one time a baseball bat was coming at my head. I grab it, and I stood up and I said, okay, we're not going to play this anymore. I'm done having fun. It's time to be done. Wake up in the morning, not remembering any of this,
Yeah.
just thinking I had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
I walk out of my uncle's bedroom onto the balcony and sit down on the deck, and his girlfriend brings me a smoke, a cup of coffee, and we're all sitting there, and there's kind of just an awkward silence. And it's just a beautiful day. I'm like, God, you guys have a great time last night? I mean, I think I had a great time. I slept good. I'm feeling good right now. And my uncle's girlfriend comes over to me, and she's like, let me look at your back. I got to see if you're still bleeding. Okay. All right, and at this time, I'm still feeling no pain. I look, and she's over my back. She's like, yeah, you're still bleeding pretty good. So apparently I got shivved with a glass.
God, I miss drinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep going.
She said, I got all the glass out last night. It's looking okay. My uncle tells me what happens, and this is where the guilt kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I was beating the absolute hell out of my uncle on his kitchen floor for the 4th time of the night. His girlfriend tries to stop what I was doing. His girlfriend's daughter is trying to stop me.
Mm.
And I grabbed my uncle's girlfriend's foot, pulled her to the floor, and held her there as I beat the hell out of my uncle. She was in an abusive relationship, and this caused a huge problem for my uncle and his girlfriend, because as time went, she decided that he couldn't protect her anymore.
Mm.
So they had a huge issue. She still hasn't forgiven me. I've tried to reach out and get amends for that, and that's something I'm going to have to wait for.
Just to highlight, over you and your drinking.
No, over me.
Over you and your drinking. Yeah, you and your drinking.
Yeah.
Let's get this for straight.
Yeah.
All right, so you and your drinking, you wake up. I'm going to push forward to this because this is dark shit. It's the horrors of drinking, man.
Right.
We're hearing about it right now. So you get fucked up and not know it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time I'm hearing about that. So I'm also going to ask you, like, is this whatever happened to you while you're blacked out have a lot to do with the physical shit you're dealing with now?
No.
Okay, so keep going then. So uncle and her have a rift. They still haven't forgiven you, and you up. Okay.
So I hear about what happened that night. I drink my coffee. My uncle grabs me a beer. I'm like, well, okay, we're gonna start this. It's 10 in the morning. Why not?
Start this dance over.
Yeah. We have 2 or 3. I walk. It's like, okay, I gotta get home. I got an hour drive home. I don't want to get fucked up and stay here all day long. After what I just heard, I really don't want to be here in the presence of people who absolutely hate me right now.
Right. And you were feeling that. You knew that.
This is when pain started to hit. My physical pain, like from baseball bats and the chairs, get in the car, I'm driving home, and I'm feeling worse and worse and worse. I call Johnny Q on the way home. Dude, this is it. I'm done. I got a story for you. Please come over. I need somebody right now. I pull up to my house. My wife didn't know where I was that night. I told her I was somewhere else.
Mm.
She comes out, reads me the riot act, and I'm pretty used to getting the riot act read to me now, so it's
Just
okay.
another Tuesday morning. Yeah.
And I broke. I'm in such physical pain, mental anguish. I was so guilty, and that was the nail in the coffin for me. I was done. I couldn't just. I had to put the crazy person back inside the cage. So that's when I started to get where I'm at now.
So John came over though.
Yes.
Okay. And what is that the day? Was that the last drink you've had?
No.
Prior to? Oh, you kept going.
No, that was the last drink.
No, I'm not talking about the one with the pain and you had.
Right.
Besides that incident, that was it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you're back all in.
Yeah.
With recovery. We're ripping through your story, but then I got questions for you about other stuff too. So okay.
So I'm going to meetings again.
Mhm.
I got Bryce back on board. Sorry, I probably shouldn't use the last name, but he was on the podcast a few weeks ago and said it. So
if he wants to justify it, let him justify it, Elena.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry.
Now he's done. We got kicked off YouTube. No,
You lost him?
You're fine, dude. You're
No.
good. So yes, you're back in. You got your sponsor back in your life.
Yep.
You're coming to meetings. Wop, you keep them coming.
Yeah.
And then what with physical? Tell us.
So we get to about September last year. I went out of town for business. Sorry, but I saw your message. Thank you. I feel better about myself now. I go out of town for business, and I have a history of blood clots. Before my last E-dub, I started coughing up blood at work one day.
Oh, that's right.
So I have a history of blood clots.
In your lungs? Is that?
Yes, I have blood clots in my lungs.
Yep.
Lucky to survive that. Anyway, on a plane, I can't get comfortable. My left leg feels terrible, and that's where I had the clots previously. So I come home, give it a week or two, decide, all right, I need to get this checked out. I go to the doctor, have an ultrasound, no clots. My leg just hurts. And it hurts to the point where I need to go to the emergency room one day. I go to the emergency room, doctor says, you got a bad back. Okay. I go see a back surgeon, and this is after trying steroids again, opiates again. None of that stuff worked. They send me a surgeon. Surgeon's like, great, get you on Thursday. All right.
For what? For back
For a
surgery?
back issue.
Okay.
So what they did was call it discectomy. They
Yeah.
carved out the discs that were bulging in my back. This was supposed to alleviate my leg issues. That surgery took the pain away.
I have one scheduled.
Do you really?
Yeah. Keep it coming.
That surgery took the pain away. Unfortunately, less than a week later, I threw clots again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back in the hospital.
Did they put you on blood thinners for that too? Or okay, yep.
So right away, I'm back on blood thinners. They had to surgically remove the clots when they did the angiogram. So I have the giant scars in my
Did they
groin.
do your groin?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had to surgically remove them from my femoral artery. That was 99% clogged, I think they said.
Like that's a killer, right?
Yeah, I was losing my lower extremities at that point.
Yeah, okay, yep, keep coming.
After that surgery, I can barely stand up. I don't want to scare you from your discectomy, but
No, go ahead.
the doc clipped something.
Awesome.
I haven't been able to stand up straight ever since. But this is an issue that we're working on now.
Right.
My leg is now fine. I don't have pain in my leg anymore, but my left foot was turning colors.
That's right. I recall you were sharing with us about that. Like they would try to give you, they were giving you opiates or something intravenously, and that was the only time your foot would start moving or something. There was something goofy going on. You were telling me about it at the time.
There was something goofy going on, and they couldn't figure it out. So my foot would be white, or my foot would be black. The blood would pool in my foot, or the blood would be gone completely. So it felt like my left foot was in Lake Minnetonka in the middle of January, just stuck in the ice, right? This is where things got weird for doctors. Vascular couldn't figure it out because they said I had good blood flow. Um, the the podiatrist is like, I don't know what's going on. You got to talk to your other doctors. Finally, I get diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome. Unfortunately,
What is that?
it's a rare disorder. For me, it's different for everybody else. Everybody's different when it
Okay.
comes to that. Mine caused my nerves in my back to send a signal to my foot, either push all the blood in and keep it there, or push all the blood out and not let anything in.
So it wasn't continuously circulating the way it should be.
Correct.
Okay.
Unfortunately, while they're figuring this out, my big toe died. And the day before Thanksgiving last year, I had my big toe removed.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I guess I never found that out. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been putting my feet up with my sandals on at meetings. So.
Nine Toe.
Right.
That's his new name. Okay. So, yeah, go ahead, Nine Toe.
So, lose my toe. Still having back issues. They can't figure out why I'm having the blood flow issue. Finally, these last couple of months, I had a spinal stimulator put in to correct the message going to my leg.
Is that like a TENS unit,
Yeah.
but surgically implanted?
Yep.
Okay.
So I got leads going into my nerves and a battery pack telling my nerves what to do with my foot.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Different. So,
Now we're here.
no, we're not here. Because there was a time that the pain was a little too much for you.
Oh, you mean my relapse?
We're not going to just glaze over this shit.
Oh, come on.
I'm joking. We're almost there though.
Right.
So we can't figure it out. Opiates don't help.
Right.
Their
So
song and dance isn't.
I'm in extreme pain. There's a point where anytime I went to my regular doctor, he's like, I can give you a couple of pills, but that's it. I have to go to the emergency room. The emergency room would shoot me out with Dilaudid. I'd lay there. All of a sudden, I would have blood flow to my foot again. So this is something they were figuring out. They sent me to the pain clinic, and that's how I got to the battery pack in my back. But during that time, before they figured out my issue, I was having such problems with the pain that I turned to alcohol.
Because that's just what you knew, or what was your head telling you about that? Like, why? What made you think, let's drink?
I was in such excruciating pain that I couldn't. I had no other place to go other than the emergency room, which didn't want to deal with me because I'd already been there that week.
What did they start pointing to you as a seeker at that point, or they knew you weren't on some bullshit, or what? I mean, I'm not. There's no judgment. I just anyone listening. I always look at it from someone who's listening that may be in your shoes. Like, what brought your head to a place of, well, maybe booze will help.
I have to manage the pain somehow. I can't.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I can't deal with this anymore. I have to dull myself some way, somehow.
Okay. Go, Elena. What you sound like you're agreeing and you understand this. What do you mean?
I completely agree. So I tore my rotator cuff in half and my bicep muscle in my arm.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I didn't want to take any pain pills because I was a meth addict.
Okay.
And I knew that if I took pain pills, it would bring me to something else. So I drank like crazy to help get rid of the pain.
Was
and
that
help
your
me sleep.
relapse? Like one of your relapses or part of a
That
relapse?
was part of it.
And was that what I'm not judging. I'm asking out of pure curiosity to both of you. Like, is that your head was like, all right, shit, I'm not. In your case, I don't want to do pain meds. In your case, pain meds weren't working, or I couldn't get them.
Right.
And that's just it. They offered them to me like crazy, but I was
And
like,
what
no.
you're just too scared. You prefer, like, your head's like, I can handle the booze, not the meth.
Yeah.
Because you knew pain meds would bring you to the meth.
Yeah.
So like, and my big brain, I'm over here like, well, so our medical system's effed because you're over here saying like, I don't want, you're part of the medical system, but like, if I have this right, is you're like, I don't want pain meds because it will bring me back to meth, and I know booze will at least numb it, and in your mind you're like, it's worth it to drink and not deal with this pain.
It was worth it
for you
for
at
me.
that time.
But then I got worse and worse, and I wanted drugs.
So
but I didn't.
Right. What ended up, not take from your story because we are almost to the end of it.
Yeah.
What ended up happening, Elena, with yours? Because we never had you as a guest or went through your stories.
With drinking?
Yeah, like that whole scenario. Like you said, it got worse and worse. Like what happened with that whole situation?
Well, I was in the program for many years before that, and the very last time I drank, I completely blacked out, and I don't remember how I got to where I was and what I did. And the next morning, I woke up and said, "I'm never going to do this again," and I haven't done it since.
And the arm and the rotator
Because
cuff,
I need control, and I had no control in that situation. I need control. My arm, I ended up having surgery.
And it took care of it?
And it took care of it. I can still feel it sometimes, but it took care of it.
But you were dealing with excruciating pain, and there was nothing that could have been
Yeah,
done.
because I walked around for 3.5 months with a torn rotator cuff. I couldn't lift my arm anywhere.
Did booze help it?
Booze helped me sleep.
Okay. And for you, what happened?
I was on the opposite side of the spectrum. See, I needed pain medication, and they wouldn't give it to me.
You need it, and it was proven fact. Like you get it, and all of a sudden blood would flow.
Would need it, and they wouldn't give it to me. And this is where that head full of ale and a belly full of beer thing comes in, because I was in the program actively. I needed pain relief.
Well, and you know what? I'm going to tell the both of you. It was guys like me, and I see. So here's the full circle. It was guys like me that wrecked it for a guy like you, because I was in there. I was a seeker. I was the one conning doctors during and before the epidemic that was getting them hand over fist with whatever bullshit lies I tell the doctors. I managed to get 90 oxys a month and 180 morphines a month with no real true ailments.
Right.
So it was guys like me that wrecked it. So when you ended up needing them, or someone like my biological dad who needs them, can't get them because of the assholes like me for years upon years just wanted to get high,
right,
or need money for heroin, so I'd sell them. I mean, that's the full circle.
The little assholes.
Right.
I know what it is now, looking back at it. It was guys like me that wrecked it, but so now you can't even go with proven fact. Like, look, you guys give me a shot of Dilaudid, all of a sudden my blood is flowing through my foot. You're seeing the proof of it. Their hand, and I get it. Doctors' hands are tied.
Yeah.
So when they're saying here's three Percocets, and either go to the ER or come back in 7 days to get another script, that's the way this has been. It's I see it from both sides, and they'll give you a script for 2 months and then cut you clean off. Shit like that. Whatever. That's a whole rabbit hole. So then your head, what you're dealing with this pain. What? Go ahead.
So I literally, I'm sitting there at the bar. I have 3 drinks. And I have that thought in my head, like, all right, I'm starting to feel something. I know I shouldn't be doing this. Now I have to stop.
You started feeling something like I'm drunk or I'm losing the pain. I'm not dealing with the pain.
A little bit of both. Like, I'm sober at, say about 9 months at this point. And so you lose your tolerance a little bit. And, I'm not, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so I started feeling a little bit good. In my head, I'm feeling a little different. And this is where other alcoholics have told me what a waste of a relapse, because I had 3 drinks.
I've heard people say it just recently to you and about that situation.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah.
What a waste of a relapse. 3 drinks, that's all you're going to do? But that's where my head got in the way. And
head full of AA, belly full of beer.
That's right. So stopped at 3, went home, told the wife told the sponsor, I told the sponsor, and I've been flying ever since.
Yep, and part of the meeting and showing up, you fellowship, you hang out. So that's Darren's story of recovery. Now, we're going to go into a real quick side.
So what's your sobriety date?
April 6th. No. Gosh, where am I? It was the 6th. April.
Okay.
May, June, July. Yeah, you just got 3 months. Right? You're 90 days. Is that right?
It's March 6th, sorry. Yeah, it was March 6th.
April, May, June, July. 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah, you and Savannah are around the same time. Right. Okay. So, real quick, side note. You're not responsible for the version of you that exists in other people's mind. I'm not responsible for the way people see me, meaning their thought about me. I am only in control of who I am today, and I can't sit and dwell on the way Darren, Mike, or Elena thinks about me. If there's something I don't like about me, I'm the one who's in control to change that. It's no one else's job to change who I am today. That goes for anyone out there. I'll stand strong by that statement. You are in control of who you are today. So be the owner of who you are today. That was it. Side note. Now, we're not going to go down the rabbit hole of anything else about why that is our Timmy's Tidbits at 10 o'clock. Darren,
Yes.
what has been some of the biggest hurdles in your recovery for you?
Oh man, trying to find an identity after being a roaming party, and I've been actively been seeking out getting fucked up since the day of 6th grade. So as a kid, I was always bringing drinks to mom and dad. So they were young, they're having parties in my house all the time. Oh, that's cool. Let's get this kid a dollar every time he brings us a cocktail or whatever. I'd be drinking a little bit here and there. I remember that made me feel good. In my household, Jägermeister was cop medicine, so I always had alcohol around. But from 7th grade up to 16, you're sniping drinks in the dark here and there, and then once 16 hit, all hell broke loose, and I'm able to work. I've got people to buy me beer, and
Was the cool uncle always the cool uncle?
No,
Is he
no.
older than you?
yeah, he's way
Okay.
older than me. Well, not way older than me, but I think 12, 15 years older than I am.
So when you talk about an identity, you're talking about like your whole upbringing. Like booze has been part of everything. It
Yeah.
sounds like, and so now you're clean and sober.
Well, being a roaming party,
What does that mean? What do you mean by that when you say that?
the identity I had at the time was not a father, which just kills me inside. Wasting, about 10 years of my oldest son's life, and I can't say wasting it because, I was a present father. I just wasn't home because I was running around all the time. I wasn't a sloppy drunk. I was one who was there all the time, always paid the bills, never had an issue with anything. I was very, very functional. So at the time, like you started the show off with, I was a musician.
Mm-hmm. How long you been a musician?
I was a musician for about around 10 years at that point.
Okay.
And we had really gained a decent following. Had a lot of people who thought the persona that I had on the stage was the person that I am in real life. Once they started hanging out and partying with me after shows and we became quote unquote friends, that's when I started changing who I was everywhere else. I was a rock star all the time.
Right.
So I had to put on the happy face. I always had to have, I was always putting on a show.
Like the weight was always building on you
Yeah,
to
yeah.
keep up this
I'm constantly
image.
a show. I'm hanging on by a thread trying to take care of my grandpa. I'm just burning the candle. If it had 3 wicks, I had them all burned down to one. When I got sober, trying to figure out who I was after that, trying to kill that rock star performer persona. That was extremely difficult for me.
So, like, I know before the show, I cut you off from sharing a bunch of stuff about your musician life, because I did want to bring it up on the show. With what you had been through, it seems as though the more serious about recovery you've gotten, the further away from the music life you went. But now that just may be because that's how it played out. Like I know you said one of your band members got sick. COVID hit. That was a big knock for every type of scene.
Well, my band was kind of running its course anyway, so um, I was losing all of that. Once I got sober, I figured out that I didn't like being out all night. For some reason, I lost my superpower to where being out till 5 a.m. and then waking up at 7 a.m. and
Going to work,
productive member of society was being a dad and just dealing with normal life stuff was a lot tougher for some reason than it was when I was drinking, and it just became less worth it
right?
for me to try and perform for these people and give everything I had energy wise. I started losing passion for it. I just wanted to focus on being a dad. Like I didn't want to be a musician anymore. I want to be a dad now.
Right.
That's what I really want.
And so just a question for you, like with the medical stuff you got going on, the physical,
Yeah.
could you do what you did before anyways right now?
Yeah.
You could?
Yeah, I've done shows. I've done a show since all this stuff happened.
And I want to talk about that because the benefit show.
Yeah.
Benefit show. I think you've shared you're a productive member of society when drinking. I don't know about the connections you had prior to recovery. Were you able to? Is it different for you to show up for someone who's, let's just say, someone dealing with cancer?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a different Darren that's able to show up today than it was when you guys were partying as a band? You know what I'm asking?
No, I had to turn that switch back on, man.
What, when you guys would hit the stage?
Yeah, like I have an NA beer in front of me. I'm the life of the party. Nothing.
This identity.
Yeah, I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof. That's who I am on stage. Nothing can get me down. I mean, I had to turn that switch back on. Although the switch got turned and that machine that was running before didn't work quite as well because I've been out of the game for a couple of years and I've gotten older and I've had some ailments and I smoke a
Right,
bunch. And,
right. You're getting old, dude.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
Can't be a rock star your whole life. Like, you can.
You can.
can. I mean, we got, what's that, Keith?
Keith Richards.
Yeah, he is. Come on, man. He looks like a burnt match. All right. We're entirely ready to have God remove these defects of characters. Talk to me about that.
I had a real tough time with that.
Talk to me.
I had a real tough time.
How so? What do you mean?
Because those defects made who I am.
Your head tells you that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
step 6 out of the 12 steps, and that is that we were entirely ready to have God remove these defects of character. So let's start with this. Do you have a higher power in your life?
Yeah.
Have you always had one? Because I know I started this off talking about how Bob is from church. That doesn't always mean someone has a higher power. But for you, have you always had a higher power in your life and been a believer of having a higher power?
No, I wasn't. I thought that religion was just a social construct. It was just something to keep members of society in line, along with swearing off God as a 15, 16-year-old kid when my dad had a massive stroke.
Right.
And I'm living at my buddy's house and, just a traumatic teenage time to where I swore off God and I was like, you know what, this isn't for me. And it took a long time to come around back to a spiritual side of things. Learning the difference between spirituality and religion was a big thing for me, and being able to find my higher power that way.
So you found your higher power prior to recovery then? Like, did you? I do want to talk about this now. I'm answering my own questions in my head. You found your higher power. Some it's Jesus Christ, some it's Buddha, some it's something, blah blah blah. You have something that is greater than you in your life today.
Yeah.
Did that happen in recovery or prior to?
Prior to, and then during, actually prior to the summer of debauchery that I had, I tried to kill myself. and it didn't work.
What debauchery in this last 4 years?
Yeah.
You left that part out.
Yeah, I did.
Sorry, dude.
So we were flying through, and my timeline was getting muddied. So
I never, and I always, whenever that even gets brought up, I'll put up the suicide hotline on here, but
they got new numbers like 988.
There's multiple numbers. They're all 24 hours, and if anyone does listen and hears this, like if you're struggling, just reach out, man. Elena has a number on here. I have a number on here. I'll put the suicide hotline number on here. You don't have to be alone. You are loved. You're worth living. So if your head takes you down that road, like, reach out, get some help. There's help out there. We live in a fortunate state where you can walk into basically any clinic and get some help, pay them later. Wink, wink. So,
hold on, before you go on.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I actually am trying to put myself out of work. This is something, I don't know, Tim, I think I've told you about this. I have a side job. I actually clean up those scenes. So
No, I did not know that.
No.
No.
Okay, so I clean up suicides, homicides, crime scenes, hoarder houses, all the stuff that nobody else is either able to touch or not allowed to touch. I've been cleaning up scenes like that since I was 18 years old. So please put me out of a job. I would greatly.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, and you were absolutely right. It's 988. If you don't have to download it, 1-800 numbers or nothing. I just posted. It's called 988. It's Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You just dial those 3 numbers.
I
988.
think that came out today.
Did it?
Yeah.
I just Googled it again. I usually copy and paste it from the Suicide Hotline site. And yes, that's just reach out. So you had the summer debauchery, which apparently wasn't all good. If you're talking about suicide, came up in your mind.
Well, this was when I had my toe in the waters and jumping in and out before this past summer. I was in a rough patch. Decided I wanted to be done. I'm doing 120 on my motorcycle, and I tried to take a hard left-hand turn in the middle of the woods, and it somehow I just spun on my foot peg of my motorcycle. I didn't crash. I didn't scuff my handlebars. The side of my shoe got a little scuffed up, but I swear to you, this was a burning bush moment for me. I felt like I had 2 hands underneath me as I was spinning on the peg of my bike. Came to a stop, popped back up, and I was drunk at the time. Yeah, just completely sobered me up like that. I got up, I went home, I told the wife, I was like, I didn't tell her that I was trying to kill myself, but told her I got in a wreck, but nothing happened. God saved my life. His hands were down touching me. I swear to you, this is what I felt, were hands underneath me as I'm spinning on the peg of my bike. And
Dude, we don't glaze over stuff like that.
There's something out there.
No, and okay, so you do have a higher power.
Yeah.
You have something you believe in that's greater than you.
Yeah.
So now, this is who you have asked to remove your defective characters?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, let's dive into that a little bit. How's that gone? What is it? What does it look like for you? What's going on with you?
I'm still learning. We're still building a relationship. As my sponsor would say, we're building a relationship with our higher power. And, me and my higher power, we're dating right now. Things are going pretty good.
Dating.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I've learned over, especially the last time I went through the book, that you have to maintain contact and make the uncomfortable comfortable. And with some great advice, really starting and building a relationship, talking to my higher power, not just like I used to, like if this light turns green, I'm going to the bar. If it turns red, then I'll stay sober, stuff like that. This is, actually being honest, throwing stuff out into the universe and trying to make it happen, So that's where I'm at with my higher power.
So, I tasked you with a long text message before you got here, saying, come up with a topic or 2 that you want to talk about. I hope I didn't steal your thunder on one of them. Do you have something that you'd like to bring up and talk about tonight?
Well, that identity thing was going to be my big topic.
Well,
Uh,
I don't think we dove too hard into it. So you grew up thinking you had to be with your uncle, this tough guy, this macho man,
Yeah.
get as many girls under as you can. So what is that looking like today for you? Like this identity thing. Have you figured out your identity, or what's going on with it?
yeah, things have gotten a lot better. This is I've really, really dove into being the dad thing.
You did. You know what? I'm sorry. You did talk about. Yeah, you're excited about being.
Yeah,
a
I'm
dad.
super excited. I feel terrible because with all my physical ailments right now, I'm not really able to do. I wasn't able to do a ton this past winter. My youngest son started hockey. I did everything I could to be out there to coach him. I played hockey my whole life. I still play despite all these ailments and my wife trying to murder me every time I go out and grab my gear. I'm
Which foot?
left foot.
So do you make like constant right hand turns on that?
Oh my God.
All right.
It's like watching a one-arm swimmer swim a circle. Right?
Yeah,
Is that what you're trying to get at?
dude, totally. we keep this show funny, and we make light of stuff. So you realize like through what's been going on, like you just really want to be a good dad today.
Yeah,
And
that's my main goal is to just to be a better father than I was before. To be present, to actually talk to my kids, and this is something. And I can't even say being a dad. It's just being part of a family. Is something that was extremely, extremely uncomfortable to me. So my wife and I had rough childhoods,
right.
and her idea of a family concept was kind of instilled in her a lot better than it was in me. She was extremely comfortable in a family setting. That's where she wanted to be, and that's everything I wanted to run from.
Okay.
So now I'm trying to make the uncomfortable comfortable. I want to have that family setting, but I'm trying. I'm really bad at it. I'm a terrible communicator. I fly off the handle easy. I get pissed off like you wouldn't believe at a drop of a hat. But now, like, there are times I'm getting better. This is progress, not perfection, right?
That's right.
So I'm getting better. I'm able to catch myself before I explode. Or if I make a mistake and I do explode, I'm able to look at my kids and go, look, I just got super mad. I said some things I shouldn't have said to you. I brought a lot of what's inside of me and I projected it onto you, and I'm sorry. I'm able to say that now. Like, I made a mistake and I have to say I'm sorry, and this is what men do. If you make a mistake, you man up, you talk about it, and you try and make it right. So trying to be a dad first and foremost, but trying to be comfortable in a family setting is really something that is a goal for me.
So, what are some of these strengths that you found that you have in this new life of recovery? Like, have you discovered anything about yourself that you find are like some strengths you didn't realize you had that you realize you do have?
That's tough.
Yeah, I know. We get down and dirty on our questions.
That's a difficult question.
Yeah. So you're doing a lot of self-discovery, trying to get these defects characters handled, trying to be a better dad. Like, has anyone pointed out some strengths to you? Like, have you noticed anything about yourself that kind of surprised you about a strength in you?
With as short as my fuse is, it's about a mile longer than it was before.
Hey.
So I am able to catch myself faster. I'm able to prolong the inevitable. Like, my oldest son is 14. He's starting to get into some real trouble now. He is reminding me a lot of myself when I was his age. So I know exactly what he's doing.
So you know what? How does someone like you, with your background, with what you've been through, how do you handle that? Do you tell them like, I know what you're doing? Like, how does that even look for someone with the experience you have? when your child starts going down a path you fear was similar to yours?
Well, that scares the absolute hell out of me. I'd rather he didn't, and I'm trying to push him in the right direction. But the way I was brought up, you pull the shit that my kid just pulled recently. Well, but I can just tell a story. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So my wife and I go to bed at like 10 o'clock. My oldest boy is in bed at 9 sleeping. I go check on him before he goes to bed. 3 a.m. The police department calls.
Oh.
Hi. Yeah.
Oh.
Wasn't this just recently when you
Yeah.
were supposed to be on the show?
Yes, this was just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, your son is out at this park with his friends, and that park is like 5 miles from the house. So he snuck out after we went to bed because a friend texted him, and this is something that I got to work with him on, is he cannot do whatever his friends tell him. I'm having a terrible time with that. So
Was he really, is he subject to peer pressure really easy?
oh yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
He's always trying to fit in. He's a people pleaser like I was.
Right.
Or I still am. I'm still trying to create boundaries.
Yep.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I see what you're saying.
No, we're getting to that question.
I'm trying to
That was
create-
one of my
so,
6 I have.
He needs to learn how to create these boundaries. The phone is something that I wish kids didn't have to have these days. I really don't. Parents have completely passed parenting onto tablets and phones, and people aren't parenting anymore. And these kids are getting addicted to these phones, and my kid is on his phone nonstop. He just got a phone last year, maybe 2 years. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. So he got Grandpa's phone after he passed away. So in the day and age we're in right now, it's kind of a necessity.
Yeah.
My boys are at home in the summers. Me and the wife are working, so a phone is a necessity.
I get it.
But what comes with that is, their face is glued to a screen. And let's just say he's eating dinner and ding, ding, bloop, chop, doop. There's 9 different notifications come on, and he cannot sit and eat a meal without grabbing his phone. He can't sit and eat. Like, dude, turn your phone off while you're eating. You can eat a meal and not talk to your friends. I promise you, after you're done eating, your friends are still going to be there, and they're probably going to text you 4 more times because they expect you to answer right away now. They're conditioned.
That's the era of today. That is everything information right now.
Right.
It is. That's
Yeah.
just what it is.
They have these cool boxes that I threatened my girls that I was going to buy, that you put the phones inside this box,
Right.
and then you set a timer, and it does not open. There's no way to open it until that timer goes off.
I like it.
And then it got to the point where they would put down their phones. But they sell them on Amazon.
Yeah.
But like,
Buy this
I
box
think
and
we're
just put your
all
phone
four
in.
at this table old enough to remember. Like, well, maybe I'm older. I don't know. I grew up. We didn't have a cell phone. Come home when the street lights turn on.
No, I had to walk around with quarters in my pocket.
Yeah, there was
And I had to check
payphones.
in.
I just had someone from that
They
young.
call collect.
I had a person from a young person meeting ask me what's a payphone.
1-800-COLLECT. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Dude, there's also like movie phone. Like,
Yeah, all they go
yeah,
the best.
yeah.
I still use movie phone. Okay, this is how I'm anti-tech anyway. So it was up until maybe 7 years ago that I still had an AOL email account. Yeah, I still have.
AOL like Hotmail.
Yeah,
I still have.
got-
I still have MSN. I have had MSN for like 27 years.
You got mail.
Yep. I remember like important shit would get sent to me, and I couldn't find it because God knows I made this password when I was 14
Yeah.
years old, 15 years old. I don't remember what the hell that password was, but it's been my email account. You logged off. I got a new phone. Shit. We're gonna send a new password to your email. I can't fucking get into my email. God damn it.
So what did you do with your boy?
Well, I was not allowed to pick him up because the old me came out, like the fighter in me came out. I wanted to pin him down in the garage and have an old-fashioned
Yep.
son talk.
You're gonna whoop his ass.
I was gonna whoop his ass. I have been warned against that.
And nowadays you go to jail.
But your wife?
Yeah, so my wife grew up in a home that had abuse in it. So I remind her a lot of her dad. So her dad never had any physical issues with the kids. He always beat the crap out of her mom. So anytime I get pissed, I get loud. The minute I get loud, she gets defensive. So just talking about, all right, he gets home, I'm gonna whoop his ass. No, and that woeful no turns into, you are not fucking touching my kid. I get it. So I left the punishment up to her. I said a month. He's gone to the house for a month. He doesn't touch his phone for the month. So he has zero contact with the outside world. So I know with my oldest son, the worst punishment I can give him
Take the phone.
is isolation. It's always been for him, anytime he's ever done something wrong, the most painful punishment for him is isolation. So I said a month without the phone, a month without friends. She whittled it down to 2 weeks, and the phone can be there. I bought security cameras. So I'm kind of going my own route.
You went around.
Yeah, I went around the way. I got security cameras. I got a security system set up. So the fun part is the phone was still available. It was out in the open, right? I come home late. It's 11 o'clock at night. I come home late, right? I come home. I see a glow from my kitchen next. Not a light. That's not the television. This is not a glow.
The phone.
This is not a glow that I come home to ever. And it's in my kitchen. My kitchen's around the back. So I walk around back. I look in the kitchen. My son's on his phone. Come around. Come into my front door. I go upstairs, go to the bathroom. I come to walk down the stairs again. And I hear, hi, Dad. Hey, what are you doing there standing in the dark all by yourself? Oh, I was getting a glass of water. Okay. Which glass did you use?
Oh, boy. Let's feel the wet bristles on the toothbrush.
And this is something I'm trying to teach him is you're not smart enough to lie. You always leave things. You're a bad liar, kid. And I've lied about everything you could ever imagine. I've gotten away with it. You've gotten away with nothing because I know all. I have eyes everywhere. So I grab the glass and I turn it upside down. No matter how much you drink out of a glass, there's always going to be a little bit left.
Yeah.
So I turn it over. It's bone dry, right? And his phone's sitting there on the counter. And I grab his phone and I go, why is your phone so warm? Well, my buddy Evan called me at like 10 o'clock.
So he came clean.
It's midnight, dude. What do you have? Well, I called Evan. It's midnight. What do you have to say to your friend at midnight on a Tuesday? Why are you calling him back right now? Why can't I wait till tomorrow? So he gets busted again, lying after he's already gotten grounded. Now he has, not his, it's a house phone, it's a flip phone. So he no longer has any applications. He has 2 phone numbers in that phone, and that phone is in my bedroom at 9 o'clock at night, and it doesn't come out until
When does that
6 o'clock in the
punishment
morning.
up?
That 2-week punishment that the wife threw out there, I got bumped up to a month real quick. So that's how we handled that situation.
Cell phones, man. TikTok and all this crap. But see, I'm talking shit about something that keeps this podcast going, so I got to back off on the technology shit talk.
No, you can talk shit about it all you want because people are overusing it now.
100%.
And he said he's 14.
Yeah.
But that's the age, like, I mean,
You try and talk to somebody, even all the way up to 21, 22. I venture to say 25. Try and have a normal conversation with one of these kids.
No, it's like
They
this.
can't.
Yeah, it's
They
like
have
this.
no faith. There's no.
My kid wakes up in the morning and the first thing I hear is a ding sound because she sent a Snapchat before she even rolled out of bed.
Right.
I'm like, did you just snap somebody? She's like, yeah. It's her boyfriend, but
How old is your daughter?
she's 19.
Okay. Well, she's an adult.
No.
How long has that been going on for?
So forever. So I got a funny story for you. So my daughter, my 19-year-old, when she was, I think she was 14 or 15, she had a friend from school that was dying of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And for a whole week, and I talked about this at work the other day with somebody, and for a whole week, she's like, Mom, can I go to Christian's house this weekend? I'm like, yes. Next day, can I go to Christian's? I'm like, yes. So Friday, I dropped her off at Christian's house. 20 minutes later, I got a call from the mom, you need to come pick up Bianca. I'm like, what? They got busted smoking pot.
At 14?
At 14, 15 years old. So I called my ex, and he went and picked her up. I was like, you have to go get her because I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
I'm going to absolutely lose it. So I get home, and she's just cowering in the corner. Like, she didn't want to talk
Yeah,
to
you're
me.
wrecking her eye.
Yeah, she's high as
She
shit.
didn't want it. She was so afraid. And I didn't say nothing to her for the rest of the day. And the next day, she goes, so what's my punishment? I said, well, you're grounded for a month. She goes, a month? I said, yeah. I said, it wouldn't be that bad if you went over there and you got high, but this was premeditated get high. You planned this out for a week.
Yeah.
No, you premeditated doing this. You had this plotted out. You planned it out. You found out where you were going to get the stuff. Like, you planned this. If you would have just went over there and your friend had some pot and you took a hit from his joint, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you're pre-planning,
You planned this. No. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, she was grounded for a month, and at that time there was a school dance. She couldn't go to school dance. She couldn't.
You held to it.
Heck yeah, I did. I'm not raising
worst
kids
growing
to
up,
do
like,
dumb
the
things.
worst punishment for me was disappointing my parents. Like, getting shamed from them. I never got grounded. I never got whooped on. Mine was if I disappointed my parents. Just, that was the worst punishment
I think
ever.
I did that every day.
I mean, for me to know that they were disappointed with me, that was my punishment. Like, for them not to give me a punishment was more of a punishment, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, they're like, well, what do I care? What am I going to do anyways?
What am I gonna do with you? It's like,
I mean, serious. To lose their trust and shit, that was a way bigger punishment for me.
Yeah.
It just was what it was. Do you have boundaries today? And if you do, what do they look like?
Still working on that.
What do you mean?
I can say no now. So there was a time in my life where I couldn't say no to anybody. So in this, say, just for an example, without any performance-enhancing drugs, I would be up for 3 days straight, and this would be going from my day job to a biohazard job to a stage, straight back to work, to a biohazard job, to a stage, and then try and help somebody on the side do this, that, and the other thing, and then play a couple of games of
You
hockey.
couldn't say no.
Yeah, I couldn't.
We've
say no.
shared about this.
Anything I could not say no to, and I hated disappointing people. I was a people pleaser.
Yeah.
Like you with your parents, I was like that with everybody. If someone needed something, I was always there. I was dependable 100%, and I would never, ever say no. So boundaries, I'm trying to, physically, if I'm not feeling well now, I will say, no, I can't do this.
And hold your guns.
Yeah, I'll stick to it. I'm sorry, but I can't. And I'm starting to figure out now that people understand.
Well, they don't give them a choice. I mean, well, not that, but I don't know what boundaries even are.
Well, I never thought that if I said no to somebody, it never even entered my mind that they would be okay with it.
Right, I get that.
I thought that would destroy a relationship.
Yeah.
Just because I said no to something. Like, I'm sorry, dude, I can't play this hockey game tonight. Well, fuck you then.
No, I get it. I'm that way today. Like, with my girl, she asked, like, you want to come over? I don't know how to say no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say no. I don't want to. I want to go home and relax.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna crush her.
Yeah, I have to say.
And same with friends.
Mm-hmm.
Same with anything. Elena, what do boundaries look like for you today? Do you have them? And if so, what are they like? Talk to me.
Yeah, I do. I have
Okay.
major boundaries.
Okay, like what do you mean?
Yeah, teach us.
Like with friends, relationships, my kids.
She's had Elena, what do we call healthcare with Elena? Or no, that's what we should call it, healthcare with Elena, because you're a healthcare lady. Self-care with Elena. She shared, you did a boundaries one.
I did.
One of the first ones. So with your kids and with what else? Because I know at the beginning of the show, we talked about 28 women. How do you have boundaries with all the shit that goes on?
I don't even know how to explain it when it comes to work. I just have my boundaries. I have a door that I lock, and if I don't want you in there, I don't let you in there.
Are you talking about a figurative door?
No, I have a door in my office.
Oh,
and I
like
flip and
a
lock
door.
it.
Okay. She got 3 women out there bleeding with cuts over their eyes. She's like, nope, door's locked. I have boundaries. First aid kits on the wall.
Just throw
That would not be how it goes.
Pathogen box
I
on
don't-
the door. Here you go.
I don't know how to explain my boundaries. I have boundaries on who I let in my life. I have boundaries on what I share with people. I have boundaries on how I do my life now. Like
That who I let in my life is a good one.
it's really hard I have a small circle.
Yeah.
I have a very small circle.
It wasn't always a small circle.
It wasn't a small circle. I used to let everybody in. When I first got in recovery, the way that I call it is I used everybody in recovery as a babysitter, because if I was hanging out with somebody in recovery, I wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
So y'all weren't my friends at that time. You were my babysitters.
And not even looking at the quality of the babysitter. It was just
No, it was just
for the
whoever was
simple
going to be there would be there. And then as time went on and I got more and more in recovery, I realized who was working a program and who wasn't. So that circle started to get a lot smaller and a lot smaller. And then I had something happen in my life where I had to change my friends. And I had to set boundaries. And I still talk to some of these people, but there's certain things that I share and certain things that I don't.
Yeah. See, I was so burnt out on people by the time I got into the program that I shut everybody from the program out. Like, I shut my entire life, started with my family, and slowly grew into the program. Like, when I got into the program, I remember saying this, like, I'm sitting in this, and I have since and quickly figured it out, like, God damn, I'm sitting with a bunch of fucking pansies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be whining and bitching and pissing and moaning about their problems. And then, as I got into it, I figured out that I was a weak one. And my walls came down to the people in AA. Because I'd been, my mother-in-law is in a program, or was in a program. And it was NA, so it was different. I saw a lot of different types of people that were obviously still using or were so burnt out. So I just saw a lot of people who were that didn't really have it together yet, and that's what I thought AA was. When everybody they just come and let out all their problems and just be a mess, and there was no solution. And,
Yep.
Because I didn't see that yet, and as I got through, I got some time under my belt. I started letting people in. It's when I figured out that, yeah, there is a solution here. And I finally opened up to going to other meetings because I was very guarded about where I would go. So I went to the same spot. And then after sitting at home for months, are you meeting?
No, you're good. It's not a cop.
I'm in a production meeting. Tim's playing with buttons.
What I'm doing is seeing if that comes. Just keep going. No.
So after my back surgery, I had to be off of work for weeks, and it's winter time, so nobody wants to do shit. Everybody's at work. It's during the day. I'm bored out of my mind. I'm starting to think. Actually, I wasn't thinking about using. I was just so bored that I needed to find something to do, and I figured AA would be a good spot. So I started doing meeting hopping, and seeing how many different meetings there were out there, letting a few people in. We have a group that meets on Wednesdays. I met a guy from Fridley that has become a really good
I love
friend
Friendly.
and somebody I care about dearly. There's some people there that I don't have contact with that I need to get back sometime when I have the day off, get their phone numbers and connect with them. But my circle is finally growing. I'm able to trust people. At the beginning of my recovery, I needed things to be so small because I was taken advantage of, and I figured that out. I was taken advantage of by so many people because I was so willing to give my time. You know,
Well, as a lead singer of like a band, you were dealing with that a lot.
yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Like you're like a rag doll. The way you're being torn to here to there, do this, do that, and
Right.
trying to people please the whole way through.
Well,
Correct?
on top of that, I'm a handy guy. I can work on cars. I'm like you. I'm a handyman. I can do anything.
Right.
You throw a problem at me, I can fix it. If it's mechanical, I'll fix it. If it's something I can figure out, I'll at least give it a try. And
And you feel obligated
yeah,
to do it.
Yeah, total
Yeah.
obligation. Just to well, I don't know how to do my brakes.
Come
I don't know how to do brakes.
Yeah.
And it would just come out of my mouth.
I know. I'm guilty of that same ass shit.
Mm-hmm. But I was so skeptical after figuring out that I was used, that coming into the program, I didn't want anybody let in. So I had to slowly let my circle grow. And now I feel a lot more comfortable, helping people out in the program.
Well, and I think like we have, like with our Thursday night men's meeting, it took me some time to figure this one out. Is all the different I'm not even gonna say the club name. Like here, we'll say here, or like maybe Will Work, or a lot being at New Way. Until I got to New Hope Alano's men's meeting, I didn't know how to make proper connections. I just didn't. And it's almost a guarantee that any of those, that's why I pump the men's meeting up to anyone whose ears are open, is there isn't a single man in that room that I can't make a connection with that will hold me accountable to my shit. And you don't find that at every meeting. You can find a few people out of different meetings, but that was the first meeting I found where it was almost a 90% rate that almost anyone in there I made connections with would not co-sign my shit and hold me accountable. So that was one of the first meetings that made it possible for me to just be open, be me, and not have to put on a show. Or I didn't need to have boundaries because they would help set them for me. That's where I learned about boundaries, was with these old crotchety pricks.
Those are my favorite. I'm seriously an 85-year-old.
You're getting there, Tim.
I know.
I'm an 85-year-old man in spirit. I'm stuck in the 37-year-old body. Unfortunately, this 37-year-old body is trying to become an 80-year-old man. So I'm going through a transition right now.
Be careful saying that statement, dude.
Am I going to offend somebody?
No, but people might think something different.
Rock kind of transition. I'm turning old, all right?
There you go. That type of transition.
I'm becoming an old man. I'm embracing it, and my body is following.
He's not on some Jenner type.
No.
All right, good. Just making sure, dude. You cut a toe off. Who knows what's next, bro?
No.
You know what?
That was
that was
shot.
so
Rim
loud.
shot. Huh?
So loud.
Huh? That would have been perfect if our audience could have heard that. I'm going to figure out how to make that work with that.
I'm
All
not
right.
going to cut my dick off and make it a toe, Tim. Okay? Another rim shot. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
All right. I am the jokester of the year.
Sad trombone, if you guys can.
And here's my fans. All right, it's enough. All right.
Oh my God.
All right, boys and girls. I think we're doing good here. We're at about an hour 45. Elena, is there anything you want to pull out of our guests before we start wrapping things up?
No, you pretty much said it all. That whole trust thing, though, that you just mentioned. I don't trust anybody, really.
Yeah.
That's like a big, big problem that I
It's
have.
tough to trust. And I have, so my biohazard job takes me a lot of places.
You know what? Yeah, let's talk about that before we end the show. I
I'm
want to know
sure
about that.
The job's interesting. And there are times where it is excruciatingly painful for me to have to do it. Just for an example, say Mother's Day this year, I had to clean up somebody's child. This 33-year-old lady decided she wanted to end her life, she goes on her steps, pull the trigger, and on Mother's Day, I'm there having to try and console a mother and father who just lost their daughter, and I'm underneath their steps,
Cleaning up
pulling
matter.
her brain
Yeah.
out from insulation. There are other situations where there's kids involved, and there's a job that I've done recently that I'm never going to recover from. But with this program, there are like my two jobs. I'm able. That sounds best.
Can't wait till next Thursday.
Late night, my two Johns are waiting for me after I got off the airplane.
One of your Johns is waiting for you now. I love it. So yes,
So
you utilize the connections you made.
Yeah, I'm using the connections I've made in a positive way. I'm able to trust these people with the stories that I have. I'm able to, thank you, Johnny, for taking these crosses off of my back. I'm no longer having to bear the crosses. I'm able to shed them and let them be where they need to be. I'm letting out things that I was never, ever allowed myself to let out before.
Well, bro, it's like you're talking about. All right, there's a couple things I want to ask about this job. Like, I can imagine it's fire money. Like, I know a girl who's done similar stuff, and you're talking over like certain ones over $100 an hour type stuff. Like, you're getting really well compensated, but you're dealing with some major stuff.
Yeah. Everybody asks, is the money worth it?
That's where the next question is going, and I imagine it must for you to keep enduring what you're talking about, because you just shared without the detail we don't need is something that's going to sit with you for the rest of your life that you can never just wash away. And you credit this program to being able to do that job?
It's helping. I went through it. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this job for 20 years. I was a senior in high school cleaning up a 17-year-old kid. I've been doing this forever, and that was my first job, was cleaning up a 17-year-old kid. His fucking mom was there at 3 o'clock in the morning, felt bad, and made us cookies. So
that you had to clean up, what, as suicide?
Yeah. Took his head off with a shotgun.
Yeah, awesome.
So there are a lot of jobs that are just, I'm a glorified janitor. Say,
sure.
There's not a whole lot to it. We do drug cleanup, so if there's fentanyl or something, I go in, I clean a room, and I'm done. So not all of them are heart-wrenching and just terrible.
Right. Fire damage or water damage.
We don't do any of that shit.
You're strictly hazard, traumatic scenes.
Yeah.
Yowzers, dude.
Bro. They ask if
I want to do it.
You want?
I do.
You would do it?
Yeah.
That's a question for the audience.
There's a lot.
What's the dollar amount you would put on that, Elena? What would you do it for an hour?
I wouldn't put a dollar amount on that.
You just do it for the experience?
Well, I mean, I'd do it as a job, but I mean...
But there's got to be, like, $40 an hour to me, nah, keep it. $80 an hour, keep it.
Well, there's a weird...
I deal with death being a nurse, and I have to clean them up. They might not have their heads blown off, but it's still death.
Yeah. There's a weird, twisted side of me that loves the job because it's something interesting that nobody else... You don't go down the street and say, oh, yeah, that guy cleans up people for a living.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying.
It's kind of like a CSI job.
No, but I get what you're saying. You're part of an inside situation. Like, you're dealing with... I get there's more than just the money. There is.
The further I go with this job, the longer I do it, there's a side of me that doesn't want anybody else to have to.
People pleaser.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, at the same time, I've got 20 years of doing this. I can say that I've seen some of the worst things that have ever happened on this earth to people and families. And I'm able to shield somebody I'm already damaged goods. They can send me back in. I can save somebody else from seeing their family from having to clean up their own son or daughter.
Right.
It's
you know what I did.
I'm honored to do it.
Yeah, but then you have to sleep with it, and then you just shared. You went through something you'll never be able to shake.
Right.
like what that does to your sanity or your peace of mind.
And that's where this program's coming to help me. I've reached out for help. That's like I said, I've never reached out for help before, and now I'm able to let go, and the bondage itself isn't there anymore. I'm not going to carry the cross. I'm able to let it go. I'm able to. I've gotten connected with counselors, something I've never done before.
There you go.
I've gotten connected with people who can actually help with mental health. Now, me being crazy, that's a different story. No one's going to be able, no one's going to be able to help that. But taking away the nightmares that you have is something that can't.
That's what I'm getting at. Like there's certain things like, but to me, it's the same thing about like you're in control of your own happiness. You are, if you got shit in your life, like get rid of the shit in your life. This is something you're choosing to do.
Right.
So
I can say no.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
I have that ability now.
That's what I'm getting at. And that's where I think this wraps into boundaries too. So you've endured some of these things that are never going to leave you. They're going to be stuck and etched in your brain, the darkest and the nastiest of the nasty. But then you can look at the other side, like you're saying, like I might be saving a mom from having to see her first love, her firstborn child's head all over the wall, or
right.
whatever. Sure. See, and then you also put a roof over your head.
Right.
I don't know. There's so many different ways of looking at it. And until you're in that position, I guess it's each to their own. It's not for me to judge what you're doing.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. That's absolutely
Hell
true.
no.
There's not a dollar amount you could put on a lot of people that do it. Physically, a lot of people couldn't do it. You walk in, you puke, or you can shit yourself. You make a biohazard job right there for yourself to clean up.
See the new guy? We got to clean up after the new guy.
Puking in the back, puking his
Hell
guts off.
no. Hell no.
It takes a special kind of person to do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes the dollar amount's enough, and sometimes it's not. And it's a matter of physically being able to stomach it, but mentally being able to deal with it as well.
Yeah, I think the being responsible with counselors and reaching out to the connections you've made to not have to bear that cross. Like, that's heavy shit, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the type of stuff you hear about. People go home to drink it away.
Right.
Stuff like that. Makes it a lot easier to justify another cocktail to forget about the day you just had.
Well, and there was a few nights with a few jobs where that's exactly what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And people that was an excuse for other people to get to me.
Right.
And
I hated that. Right.
I hated that.
It's pandering. Like, but Darren has to do this and that. Like, he deserves a drink.
After my first E-dub, I had so many people climbing out of the woodwork to throw excuses at me. Like, this is not your fault. This is not your fault. This is not your fault. I swear to God, I was the only one telling everybody, this is 100% on me. This is my fault. Now, the second one,
Hey, that's people co-signing your shit.
That's right. The second one was, it's time to clean up, buddy.
Yeah.
No more bullshit. So I got people stepping on my nuts all the time, and now I appreciate it.
He said, I'll give you 5 minutes to stop stepping on my nuts, and then you got to stop.
Here comes the sad horn again.
All right.
Here we go.
So, Darren.
Yes.
What in life today are you grateful for? This is where the part where we wrap up and you tell us all about what you're grateful for in life today.
Oh, man.
Don't leave nothing out.
It's funny. I'm thinking radio. We got another segment? No.
This is the final segment.
Man,
the grateful segment.
There's so much I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for being alive. I really am. I'm grateful for every struggle that I've ever gone through to make me who I am right now. I mean, I'm proud as hell of myself for getting as far as I have with as fucked up I was for so long. But now being able to be grateful for it. Like, I hated everything before. I wasn't grateful for anything. I had great things going for me. Everything in life I had was going for me, and I wasn't grateful for a thing. Now I look back, I'm grateful for all of it. I'm grateful for all the struggles. I'm grateful for all the physical ailments I've had, because those things allowed me to slow down and be the dad that I want to be, and slow down and kind of bring that family force, that family, that family aspect that I was running away from for so long. I mean, I had to be there. And
Right.
I'm grateful for all this. I'm grateful to have a leg. I still have insurance companies and doctors on my list of inventories that I need to clean out, but I'm grateful for the program. I cannot express how grateful for I am for my two jobs.
You two jobs.
And like you said, one's waiting for me.
I love it. Well,
Tim, what are you grateful for?
you know what? I'm going to tell you guys something.
Oh, and my wife, sorry.
Yeah, he wasn't done yet. She just needed to throw that at me
No, I
before I
agree.
got her. Of course, your wife and your family.
She stuck with me 15 years now.
I know.
With me.
With the
That's a long
shit
time.
you just
Yeah.
said and shared.
I've been a child for 14 of those 15 years.
And one was because he was in adolescence. He's not talking about this most current year. All right. Someone just shared about it. I made it a big stink a couple shows ago about this, but I'm grateful for the asshole who wasn't minding his own business on the road one day and called the cops on me for nodding off behind the wheel while driving. I'm grateful for that dude. I don't know who he is. My mom hates his guts. And I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful this dude fucking wasn't minding his own business, that prick. And he called the cops. And all the highway patrol in the neighborhood came after me. I'm grateful for him. I am. I'm grateful that happened. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the life I have today. None of that. That was the teeny snowball at the top of the hill that started rolling and getting bigger.
Can you imagine swallowing that pill? Like looking back at yourself right now, going back to that person and saying, guess what? You're going to be grateful for this someday.
Yeah, I know.
What would you
know.
say to yourself if you were to go back in time and say that to yourself?
You got a needle?
Oh,
How about you?
God.
Oh, yeah, what
There
would
you go.
What would you say?
That's my guy. That's my new co-host right here. Do you hear what he just did?
We have to do an interview. Sorry.
So yeah, Elena. Like Darren said, what are you grateful for?
I'm always grateful.
What are you grateful for? But I want to ask that same question to you. What would yourself now, like if you went back
Look at the host. He's dropping questions.
and told yourself, hey, you know all the stuff that you're going to go through, you're going to be grateful for it one day. What do you think that former self would say to you now?
That former self would probably smack me around.
I know we were so ignorant in our youth.
Yeah.
And how could you give it? No way.
Smack me around. It'd be, yeah,
We're having so much fun. You ain't ever stopping.
yeah. Like, why? It would have probably helped me get through a lot of things, but I don't know. I'm grateful. I have 2 amazing kids and a great life right now. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful when I get coffee,
Yeah, you might have to be specific.
which my boyfriend brought me coffee this morning, so I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, shut up, Tim. So yeah, life is good no matter what. Even when I'm having a bad day, life is good. I don't know. Here,
Mike.
Mike's been here silent
He's always
on the poor side of the
the
table.
solid silent type. Hey,
Yeah.
tonight's the night.
Get up on the mic.
Mike, this is Mike. This is the man who's been in our during the shows for the last, I'd say, 25 shows. He's been in house supporting the shit out of us, and now we're gonna finally find out what this man's grateful for. Introduce yourself and tell us what you're grateful for. Get right on that, Mike.
I'm Mike, addict alcoholic.
Hey, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Darren pretty much covered it. Basically, what I'm grateful for is my past. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Thanks,
It
Mike.
basically sums it up. And yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Man of many words.
There's the sad horn again.
All right, boys and girls.
We have to get you a button bar that the audience can hear.
2218. This is the place we hold the podcast from. This is the place that never closed their doors during the pandemic. This is the place that has multiple different fellowships and meetings: NA, AA, CMA, Al-Anon, fellowship, fun, events, community, memberships. Come be part of this club. If you've got community service hours you need written up, come on down, volunteer some time, they'll get your hours written up. If you got some cards you need signed, come find a meeting down here. Maybe you'll hear something that helps. If you want to volunteer, just come on down and volunteer. This club could use some volunteers. If you want to be part of prettying up the flowers with Jen, who was on the show a few weeks back, come on down and be part of that. This club could use the support. If you're able to financially donate, please follow the links that Elena has put up and donate to this club. And remember, you're not alone. You don't need to be alone. If you're struggling, if you're hurting, reach out. No one's going to know you're struggling or hurting unless you reach out. You don't have to be hurting, and you are worthy. So reach out, be part of success and solution. We appreciate you. Same bad time, same bad place. Next week, we'll smell you later. Deuces.